Hello, it's Joshua Sohn. We're back in the studio today going over a very useful hybrid library called Dojo by Silence and Other Sounds. Dojo is a sample based synth for Kontakt. It was designed for composers, sound designers, and even producers who are looking for a complete and innovative approach to writing music. After playing around with it for a few weeks myself, I was inspired to write something original using mainly Dojo in the action genre. The demo you're about to hear is gritty, dark, and a little bit rock and roll. I hope you enjoy. Here's the demo. Okay, so that is the demo. It's a heisty cue, as you can hear. What I wanted to go over now is just break down the cue in more specific detail using the Dojo library. Now, Dojo comprises of two sounds or two sides of the coin. One is called Kata, and the Kata synth is more texture based, such as this one right here. And this is how it looks. Over on this interface, you can see how there are four channels actually, two on the left and two on the right. The ones on the left are the layer type of channels, and if I were to just solo that, you can hear the qualities, but as soon as I add this side, this key side, it gets a little brighter. So if we were to go ahead and mute the left side, you can hear how these sounds all combine together in a unique way. So what I like about the Dojo synth libraries is that they give you those options, so up to four channels for the Kata synth, and as soon as you mess around with one preset in the snapshots here, you can see how these will all change as time goes on. Let me go ahead and show you or demonstrate that with a nice clean channel here. And what I like about these sounds are they're very unique. They have a lot of character to them. There's not much shaping or anything really that you need to do. But if in case that you do want to change those, you have a lot of parameters in place, like the volume to change the balancing. And as you notice here, you have the little button here that activates the channel, or you can even turn it off. And so, by default, this particular snapshot actually didn't have this activated, but it does have some options if you did want to turn that on. And as far as more options in this window, you have ways to change the parameters of each of these channels. Depending, the L just stands for the layers, K stands for the key side, which is on the right, and you can change these parameters within the CC controller, so you can actually put that to CC1 on a mod, or this can be, let's say, CC11. Let's do that right now. And what will happen is, as soon as I get out of that, you can see how my controller can change that on the fly, and you can see how that would move in relation to your fader. On top of that, you have a keyboard window, and this is, I think, what makes this library more unique than other libraries that have a similar array of samples. Besides the samples playing together, if you wanted to separate the sides, so if I want layers playing from opposite of the keyboard, the key side, then this gives you different options. So this is just playing the left hand of all the notes, and then if I play the ones in blue, then you can do that, and you can play them together even. So you can get lost pretty quickly messing around with all of these sounds. I actually recommend going through each of these sounds individually by just turning them off like this. That way you can really hear all of the sounds individually by default, and then you can layer them and make your own custom sounds as you go on. And again, there are plenty of sounds to choose from. Okay, and if you want to go more nitty gritty, the layers page will offer you all sorts of envelopes and knobs to mess around with. As well as on the key side, you can turn any of these keys into sequencers, which will basically change the patch to more of a phrase or loop approach. But on the flip side, if you want to go over the Kumite synth library, let me go ahead and open one up right here. You can see that there is only one sample for the key side that you can trigger, and then on the layer side, it's in this case they call it the synth side. You still have two channels, so they're giving you three options here, and Kumite is more of a rhythmic approach. In this case, this is a guitar sound. Let me go ahead and find that. What I love about that sound is it sounds very real to me. It has a nitty gritty, but also more of a live feel to it that you can just sprinkle into your compositions. Here's another one. As you can hear, this one is more of a synth approach, which is not sample based, but more with wavetables and manipulating that in a sequencer. As you can see here, this actually sounds like there's a sample going as well as a synth. So that is how Dojo works, or with the Kumite side of things. Let me go ahead and play you some of my favorite moments of this piece, and I can also talk about how I approach this. So what we're going to go over now is not all these sounds were Dojo based. Some of these sounds came from other string and brass libraries, just to give you a taste of that. And I just did that to add just a little bit more of a sparkle on this section. But this section opens up more mysterious, and it kind of sets up the mood for that heist that's about to happen. So as time goes on, I also included some sounds down here. Oops. As you can see in this window, we have a sound that's reversed, and I took it from this explosive hit sound. So it has a lot of character, but what we'll do now is I'm going to render that in place, and I reverse it, and you get this sound. So that source material is coming from Dojo, but manipulated by me further with that reversing effect, and then as well as adding a tremolo to it to give it more of an oscillation feel that I really liked. So that is the whoosh effect that I was able to produce using the Dojo library. I did that here as well using a different trigger, and I really liked just how that sounds so swipey at the end. All of those effects here signify almost a different transition and a change. So that's something that I find useful when I'm composing is using those little ear candy sounds to do that. But for the most part, I really like how it starts with this ancient reeds patch. To supplement that, then I added a little effect. Okay. Another thing I should just mention with that, to make a point here, is in the Kumite, it's not just synths. There were some drum set sounds that you've heard, and some more percussive hits that you've heard. And in this case, this is a kick that I really liked that came from the Horror Impact sample sound set that's in this list. And if I just go ahead and solo that, this is what it sounds like. I manipulated that further, just making sure that the attack knob was set all the way down, and the release of it didn't go so far that it's playing the entire sample. That it, after playing it, let's see, it's like a quarter note length. So if I hit it with a quarter note length, I set the release time for it to cut out a little bit earlier than it was set to. If I set it out, you can see how it'll just keep going. But if I go down, it's a little bit more cut as opposed to all the way. You can hear those tails, and so I want it a little bit more short, and you can do that all inside that sample window. The synth side of things works really well. Basically, that is something you can manipulate really quickly, and then on top of that kick drum, I added some hi-hats from this drum kit sample, and then further down below with a different sound. So let's go ahead and press play on this section. Great. So as you can hear there, this is where it's all this action is about to start. I mean, it's already happening, but it's just the very beginning of it. And so over here, if I were to mute actually the strings and the brass that I've added in, and just here to the point of how the sounds from Dojo feel, you'll hear it sounds very modern, gritty, a bit on that hybrid side of things. And then also the drums itself are nice and clean. I really like this clean industrial sound that's going on. Okay, so just a couple things that I liked about that is I really like this guitar tone. The key switches over to E flat here for a brief moment, or it's just in the chord of a E flat, and then I also noticed that what really gives it that industrial feel are these two sounds. And that, in addition to this cool sound effect that I found from the Dystopia sample area, was just really brings everything together cohesively. And this sounds kind of like a motorcycle. So that with everything else. Okay. With that being said, let's go ahead and turn the strings and brass back in. On this section, this is a fairly straightforward moment where things are happening. There's a chase ensuing here, and it's not quite to its loudest or climactic moment, but this has a good driving point to everything here. All I'll say is the guitars come in, and you can really hear a lot of cool sequence type beats that's happening in the synths, as well as this next section over here. There's one more down here. That's the kick. Let's try this again. So those are the main synth drivers, as well as the melody. And the melody I really enjoy from the Kata side. And the Kata synth includes two of these sounds. And in addition to that, just to make it even more gritty, I added a Sound Toys Devil Lock on there to just take it to that next level of crunchy, and that's the sound that we have there. So putting it all together, this is what it sounds like. So over on this part, you have a glitch ARP that is layered on top of each other, and then layering those two together, you have this sound. And then with that is the last part. I actually really like this explosive hit, by the way. I have both of these layered together. So one's dry, and the other's has a big tail to it. And all that is basically is a Valhalla Vintage Verb plugin that I added with a really long tail and about 50% mix dry to wet ratio. And then this is a very dry sound. After you hit this sound, it does go back harder with this nice little drum fill over. Let me actually just play the drums first. Okay, and then include that with the rest of the band. Okay, and that is Dojo in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed the sounds that came from this. This is just one of many sounds that you can dissect and harvest from this library. I really enjoyed the unique sonic characters of these. I think it works great in this action genre as well as even trailer genres would be really good. On top of that, it's very complementary to other libraries that you might write with. So as far as being a complete library, you can still mix it with other libraries on the fly. You don't have to load 20 of these, but if there are certain tracks that you're writing with that just need that extra boost, I think Dojo is a nice supplement to whatever you're writing with. So that's my takeaway. I hope you guys enjoyed learning more about Dojo. If you guys want to learn more, be sure to subscribe with the notification bell for future videos. I'll see you next time.